week after Yurrebilla, and luckily I seem to have pulled through mostly unscathed after that event. The problem with doing a really big event in such close proximity to another one is that the chance of picking up a bit of a niggle or an injury is really high during an event. Unlike training, where if you're a little bit tired, you're not feeling so good, you can stop or even walk and take it easy. In an event like that, you sort of go flat stick, and that increases the chance that something's going to go wrong. And of course, the first few days you're just a bit sore in the muscles, so it's a bit hard to tell how everything's pulled up, and it's only when that muscle soreness disappears that you start to get a real feel for how everything's travelling. Now, as some of you know, I took a bit of a spill during the race, so I did have quite a few good looking war wounds where there was blood all over the place, and for the most part, to start with, I thought that was just cosmetic and I didn't think I'd done any injury, but it turns out that I got quite a bit of bruising through my right knee, and one thing I didn't even realise I'd done till a couple of days later is I hurt my hip quite badly, and so there's quite a lot of bruising on my hip there as well, which has been a bit of a problem as I've started to try and run again. But for the most part, I seem to be not too bad. One of the things that I do have a little bit of concern over is my toenail. Now, that probably doesn't sound that dramatic, like, what kind of injury can you have in a toenail? Didn't break a nail or something. But one thing that a lot of endurance runners have problems with is their toes and their toenails, because when you're smashing your toes inside a pair of shoes for 6, 7, 8, even 20 hours at a time, you can bruise them. And of course, when the nail gets bruised enough and damaged enough, it can, this is pretty gross, but it can die and fall off. And whilst that's not the end of the world, the skin underneath when a nail first falls off is pretty sensitive. Now, I don't know how to explain this. I'm a bit of a freak, so the bottom line is I had nail polish on my toenails, so when I first finished the race I couldn't actually see how badly I damaged them, and it was only when I sort of took the nail polish off that I realised that these things weren't looking so crash hot underneath. My sort of concern now is if they fall off now, that's not such a big deal because they'll have time to sort of heal and I'll be up and running by Nepal. If they fall off after Nepal, then I'll worry about that then. But if they fall off mid-race, what you don't want to do is be in the middle of some 200k race where your nails are falling off and you don't have what you need to sort of patch them up and keep them comfortable over that sort of distance. So at this stage, I think the knee will probably come all right, the hip will probably come okay. I don't think there's any dangers there. But yeah, this toenail on my left foot is giving me sort of some concern, because you don't want to go into an event that long with a question mark over your fitness in any kind of way, where if I was doing a 10k race and something happened, it's not such a big deal, but when you're running that many days in a row, something like that can really get the better of you. So there you go, that's probably the post Yurrebilla wrap up as best as I can think of. So basically I just got to keep running now. I've got no time to sort of slack off or take it easy after a race like that, so just keep at it and see how I go. See you next time.